Welcome back to ReadingBear. Today, we will take a look at some new IDontWorkHereLady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The next one is titled, I Don't Work Here, Sir. Goth edition. This happened just this morning. It's not exceptionally exciting, but it amused me and figure you guys would enjoy the visual. It's my 35th today and we needed some groceries, so we decided to go to Costco. I felt like getting dressed up for once, and it's my weekend, so when we arrived I was resplendent in a NIN shirt, platform docks, black jeans and a studded belt with all the loops and chains. I'm almost 6 foot tall and female, and we had our adorable 2-year-old daughter with us, chatting happily to the flower we had just picked together. Clearly not an employee of anywhere. On my way to produce I stopped past the irresistible table of women's pants, and found myself digging through the pile for the last pair of size 12 aubergine skinny jeans. I had moved a pile to check the one behind it when I heard "tuna" next to me. I looked up, and there's an older man and his tiny wife standing next to the table staring at me expectantly. "2NUH?" he says again, more insistently. I'm baffled, my brain just not comprehending what's going on, and then it clicks. "Oh, tuna. Sorry, no idea," I say with a polite shrug, and turn back to digging halfway to China through the pile to find my size. The man makes an annoyed noise and I straighten up, genuinely not wanting to be rude. "Yeah, I don't work here." I gesture to my daughter next to me in the cart and look down at my boots. The man and his wife simultaneously look me up and down, and then say, "You don't work here, no?" I say with finality, amazed that this scene is actually unfolding. At this stage my husband, who looks like a TV Viking wearing a "servant in heaven, ruler in hell" shirt complete with Satan image, pulls up next to me excitedly holding up a 3-pack of life straws, and his arrival is enough to send Mr. and Mrs. Tuna away with a furtive glance back at us and our daughter. I've never been mistaken for an employee before. It was a good birthday surprise, smiley face. The next one is titled, Nice Lady Asks for Help Buying a Computer and We Get Free CDs and Job Offers. This is going back to the late 90s when Circuit City was still big. My friend and I were somewhere near the end of high school and were there to look for a couple CDs. A bit about us and what we were like back then, nerds. I was a wannabe computer nerd with literary pretensions and my first goatee. My hair was blonde and my beard was orange, naturally. I was probably wearing flip-flops, khaki cargo shorts and a Far Side or Umbro shirt. My friend. He was on a whole different level. He was over 6 feet and skinny. He always wore khaki slacks or jeans, wearing AZ in the summer, a polo shirt with undershirt and Birkenstocks with socks. He'd grown his hair long and about half a year earlier he had a perm to try out an afro. He hadn't cut his hair since then. He was and is a computer nerd who really knew his stuff. He looked like he worked at a store like Circuit City. We had his mum's mid-80s Suburban. So anyway, we found our music, Third Eye Blind's first album for me, and headed over to the computer area to dream. He was building a gaming computer at the time and wanted to show me the video cards he wanted and was explaining the pros and cons of a couple different types. An older lady, probably in her 50s, approaches us and asks him for help when she's done helping me. I say I'm just here for music and looking at computer stuff for fun, and my friend says he can try to help her. To be fair, I'm pretty sure he dressed the way he did BC he liked this kind of thing. She wants a computer for email because all of her friends have email and she feels left out. The selection is overwhelming and she doesn't know where to start. We head over and quickly start narrowing down the selection for her. My friend is way overthinking it and I convince him she needs bare-bones capability for basic internet, email and probably some basic word processing. We get a computer, with built-in modem, and monitor picked out along with a mouse and keyboard and make sure she knows how to use them to click on files, that kind of thing. Then my friend explains how to get internet to the computer and I write down notes for her so she can remember later. We even offer a few suggestions on what email to get and show her how AOLIM and chat rooms work if she wants to really impress her friends. The whole process took quite a while, but we didn't have anything to do and would have been bored otherwise, so it was something to do. We help her get everything together, check out and help her get it in the car. Then we head back in to get our music pay and figure out what to do. We're heading to the checkout when we see the lady coming with the store manager. She's going on about how helpful we were and praising my friend for being such a great employee. The manager and my friend are both trying to explain that he doesn't work there. Finally she realizes we're just two random guys and starts apologizing, and now we're embarrassed and insisting we were happy to help. She insists on buying our music for us. After we get checked out and say goodbye to her, the manager pulls us aside and offers us both jobs. We both say we'll think about it, and my friend decides later to work there. He gets a couple of our other friends hired there. We were moving, so it wasn't a good time for me, but I thought it was pretty cool still. I know this isn't the usual format, no one was irate for this sub, but thought I'd share anyway. Hope you enjoyed. The next one is titled, Not My Story, But My Mom's. Some context, my mum is nurse and she'll change out of her scrubs once she gets home, and this story happened in 2018, I just now recently found this sub. Now the story will begin. She was almost out of allergy medicine and went to a Walgreens. She accidentally knocks down some medicine and starts putting them back on the shelf. That's when some lady comes over and demands to know where a certain medicine is. My mum will generally be nice to people when confronted, so she politely tells the Karen, "Sorry, I don't know." This Karen starts telling her, "How do you not know where a certain item is?" My mum, now realizing the problem, tells the Karen how she doesn't work there, but the Karen refuses to believe that she doesn't work there, even though Walgreens scrubs are different than hospital scrubs. Luckily for my mum, she knows some of the people that work there, and an employee confirms that my mum is a hospital nurse and then directs the lady to the medicine she wanted, and my mum goes home with her medicine. The next one is titled, Pulling Your Phone Out When You're Working Is Against Company Policy. Lady, I'm 14. A bit of context, this was back in January of this year. I had just turned 14. The funny thing is my birthday is on January 1st. The amount of people with my birthday. You could probably count them on your hands. I think at this point I was 5'11" with a visible beard. I had people mistake me most of the time for a 16 or 17-year-old. Now my birthday had just passed, my parents are not the best with presents, so they just gave me money. So I went on the weekend to chill with my friend. It was like 12 p.m, we went out to eat, and my friend started talking about how he wished he could get a PC. Now me and him are close, I go to his house most days of the week. 3 to 4 times. Sometimes I stay over, we're basically brothers. I call his parents auntie and uncle. Same with him. He comes to my house, stays. We even have rooms in each other's houses. Now, he was born 4 days after me. I really wanted to get him something really nice. So he said, let's go chill at my house. So I call an Uber, not to his house. It was to PC World. We get halfway there and he clocks what is happening. He says this isn't the way to my house. I assure him that we are going to do something very fun. Then he sees PC World and he asks, why are we here? I tell him it's an early birthday present. I had to give it to him early as I couldn't go on a school day. So I tell him, get anything you want. He goes mad, he tries to reject, but we all know how that turns out. So we are both in the shop and I recommend him something and tell him where it is. He goes to get it. I hear a lady clearing her throat. I turn around and she asks me where something is. I say I don't know. I then turn around assuming that was the end of that. She then starts ranting about how I need to follow company policy and not pull out my phone when talking to customers. The next thing she did shocked me. She lunged and grabbed my arm. Now the human reaction is to push her off. Now I'm 5'11" and she was around 5'5" at most, and she went flying into the PCs. There was a loud alarm that went off. One monitor fell on the floor and it smashed. Security came running to the scene. So did my friend. Now my friend is a little bit scared of confrontation, so he didn't do anything. I think he was more scared than me. She was screaming about how I assaulted her and that I pulled my phone out. She said I worked there. However, the manager shut her down instantly. It was very funny. I think the police got called in the mayhem. They then took both of our stories and started giving me dirty looks. They told me to call my parents, but I refused as I didn't want to drag them into it. But eventually the footage came and it was proven that she grabbed me first and I pushed her off. Eventually I had to give my name, but I was free to leave. The police did contact my parents. The good thing was the manager gave us a 20% discount. So that was good. The next one is titled, Yes, I'm wearing the uniform but I don't work here. I'm at the Nike store about a year ago, and I used to work there 2 summers prior, so I still know a few PPL. I have on some leggings that say, just do it down the side, and a Nike tank top and white and grey Air Max. I'm holding a bag an associate gave me and I'm talking with my friend who works there. She's looking up an item for me on their mobile POS, looks like an iPhone. An older Karen-esque woman comes over and mentions something about the employees being on their phones. And I look over, making dead eye contact. She asked for my shopping bag, and I tell her no, I'm using it. My friend, the associate, tells her she'll get one, and I say, talk to you later, girl, and begin walking off. Karen then asks me to help her and I say, ma'am, I don't work here. And she said, I know, I'm sorry to bother you during your break, but I'm in a rush, now I could help, I worked here before but I won't. And I just look at her blankly and walk off. I'm leaving the store, and I see this twiggy white kid I worked with is a manager now, and he's been working out, so I speak. He's doing well, but here comes Karen. I'm empty-handed since they didn't have what I needed. She starts complaining about me to him and we're both looking at each other with this face. And we both realize what's going on. He says, she doesn't work here. She says, oh sorry, she just looked like it. Don't come to the Nike store in all Nike, and walked out. Just going around demanding things and barking orders. The next one is titled, That Will Be $10, so this happened like a week ago, and until then I was feeling a bit skeptical about the stories of people meeting angry Karens seemingly on daily basis. But now I've finally met one myself, and let me tell you, I had enough. Okay, I ride mountain bikes and it is basically my addiction. I love every single part of it, including repairing my bike. Well, the time of repairs had come, so I hopped on my secondary dirt jump bike and went to my favorite bike store. This place is awesome. They have the best employees, and even though it's not a big place, I still love it. They have lent me tools anytime I had technical issues on a ride, and I make sure to return the favor by becoming a regular customer in there. But it was closed, so I decided to go to a different store that I've never been to. On with the story. I came inside and asked for 27.5 inner tube. The cashier told me that they were running low on stock on these earlier, so she needs to check if they still have them. She wandered off to the storage area and I killed the time by looking at bikes when suddenly I hear the door open. A middle-aged lady, Kay, came in holding a kid's bike. She didn't look like a textbook Karen, but I could definitely sense that something was off. Kay, shoving the bike into my hands, fix this. Me, wah, realizing that I'm wearing a Fox t-shirt, so she maybe thinks I work here. Oh, I don't work here, Kay, now. I have now realized that I've been training for this moment my whole life. Reading these stories. My brain started working on the highest gear and I've come up with the best plan. Me, alright, that'll be $10. Kay, obviously satisfied with the price, here you go, and hurry up. I then told her to wait outside and that it won't be long. After a few seconds the cashier came back and told me I was lucky because they had the last 2 inner tubes left. I thanked her and paid $6 for my inner tube. If you haven't figured it out yet, yes, that was the $10 Kay has given me. I pocketed the leftover $4 and left the store. On my way out Kay asked me if it was done yet, but I just sat on my bike and rode off to the sunset without saying a word. The next one is titled, Wholesome I Don't Work Here Moment, Long Time Lurker Here First Time Poster. This is a short story that happened to me this morning. I went to get a coffee with a coworker. A relatively busy morning given the pandemic situation, and there was only one guy taking orders, working the register, and preparing the orders. I pre-ordered on my phone and was waiting for my coworker to order at the counter. After waiting for a few minutes and realizing my order was forgotten, I went to remind him of it and remarked, "They left you alone to deal with the rush, huh?" His response was, "Yeah. And I don't even work here." I can only guess as to how he ended up behind the counter. The next one is titled, Lady I Don't Work Here Best Buy Edition, so this takes place last year, so there isn't any social distancing or masks. So my GF and I went thrift shopping once and she bought an old Best Buy uniform shirt. She ended up cropping the shirt and basically wearing it all the time. One time I had to go into Best Buy to get something and she was with me. So we go into the store and find the speakers. I'm kinda just looking, trying to find one I like, when a woman approached my GF. "Excuse me, do you know where the TVs are?" I don't remember what she said exactly. My GF, "What? No. Women, don't you work here, you should know. My GF, what, I don't work here? The women then pointed at my GF's shirt and she noticed she was wearing a cropped Best Buy uniform shirt. I swear the face she made was priceless. My GF then had to explain to the women that she didn't in fact work here, she just had a Best Buy shirt on. And surprisingly the women was super chill about it. I still laugh at my GF to this day. She does still wear the shirt but not while we are shopping. The next one is titled, No, I'm not the postman, I'm just wearing a red coat. Something funny happened on my way home today. I'm from England, by the way. Cast, me, guess, DG, drunk guy, ing, nice girl who was with him. There was another man but he said nothing. I wear a red coat. I work in an office so I wear smart trousers, shirt, etc. too. I also carry a rucksack for my lunch and a few other bits, so today I'm walking home. I'm in a bad mood as I've just got an unexpected bill and I'm skint. So not in the best mood. I am seeing a friend for dinner though, so not all bad. I just need to change clothes. I pass a bench and DG clocks me. DG, mate, do you work for the post office? Ing looks at me. Ing, I'm sorry, just ignore him. DG, do you? Me, no I don't, I'm just wearing a red coating. He was expecting a package. Sorry. I'm more bemused than annoyed. I can understand his mistake with my red coat and bag if he was drunk. It's funny but it's not over. To cap off a perfect day, my friend cancels. I need to let off steam. I change clothes. I go for a walk, my route is near the same park. Suddenly DG is waving from down the street. His friends look really embarrassed. DG, hello again postman. Now before I was wearing smart trousers, smart shirt, my red coat and had a bag. Now I'm wearing trainers and jeans. I don't know if he thought he was making a joke or genuinely still thought I was a postman. Man shrugging. The next one is titled, Former boss seems to have forgotten she fired me. So some backstory here, because it's important. I used to work for a tech company based in the US, a small startup with a small team. From the interview pitch it seemed perfect. I get to walk to work, it's in an industry I really like, music, and while the pay is way under my value, I get stock options and good benefits. Within the first month things are okay. Not amazing, but I'm doing my best to make the most of it. My tech guy is nice and our HR, finance guy is chill. The other two, well, the first warning sign is that they fight childishly, I might add. If the guy, we'll call him Tim, doesn't know how to do something, he gets flustered and asks for help. First few times I didn't mind it. Then realized he was asking me to do all of his work for him. That's not a great sign. Second warning sign, the chick, we'll call her Karen, because she is one, blows up constantly. She also asks me to do her work for her. Did I mention she is the head of the company? I had to help her fill out her own W-2. That should have sent alarm bells off, but whatever, she's young. Maybe she's only ever worked on 1099 jobs. I dunno. Then the real issues start to rear their ugly heads. Anytime Tim and Karen disagree, it's a full-scale fight. Neither of them are actually doing their own work, so it's usually down to, well, why isn't this perfect, and whoever is being accused just looks at me while the other goes, I'll do it myself. Then gives it back to me with little to no direction. This goes on for months. The fighting only gets worse and worse, and it's bizarre because it's not dissimilar to a lover's quarrel. That's when I realize. That's what it is. These two are dating. They didn't disclose this to anyone. Not to me, not to our staff, who is exhausted listening to them fight, and most shockingly, not to our investors. Which is a huge no-no. Eventually, after months, I request to only work with HR guy and tech guy. To their protests, HR guy allows it, seeing that I'm pretty much going to quit otherwise. It starts out okay, but Karen keeps trying to overload our process with more of work she's supposed to be doing, still trying to get me to do it. Eventually they hire he's treated like a glorified intern to do their crap for them. I hand over our master list of logins to him, delete the logins off my devices since I am not responsible for the channels associated anymore, and get on with my work. Keep this in mind for later. For a brief stint things are okay, or at least I think they are, because I don't have to deal with Karen and Tim anymore, but oh man was I wrong. out of nowhere, Karen and Tim leave town, inform all of us that we need to move to this new city and that I'll have to ship their crap to the new place since I'm the only one still in my city. HR guy was in vacation and tech guy is remote. I'm furious. I less than politely say hell no. Sure enough, I don't have to convince them. COVID hits. Everyone had to work remote wherever they are now because flights aren't an option. I also refused to move their crap. I finally had it, and started looking for a new position, but with COVID well underway, I was screwed. It was this or unemployment. Sure enough, Karen starts ignoring processes and begins setting up calls at all hours that aren't productive and just waste time. For me, these calls are sometimes as late as 10 p.m. It's a mess. The final straw was when Karen and Tim angrily called me to request I do something, start fighting, forget I'm still on the phone, and start cussing each other out. I just sit there incredibly uncomfortably while they yell at each other, and out of nowhere, Tim calls her his future wife. Like WTF guys. Hang up. Now I could have hung up, but since I was friends with the other staff, I relay what I've overheard, and they inform me that they had no idea, and that's a big yikes. This evenly gets back to one of the investors who freaks. The big checks stop coming in, I wonder why. As COVID rages on, the company just burns through money. I can tell that things are going downhill and brace for impact. Sure enough, I get terminated. Everyone does. Now day forward to today, out of nowhere, I get a call. From Tim. They've misplaced several logins for their accounts. I direct them to the intern and apparently he doesn't have them. I help them recover the logins, because I'm not an ass. And Karen, learning nothing, asks if I can help with a project. For free. I don't think I've ever been more happy to say, I don't work here, lady, in my life. Just to add some revenge salt, I give them my contractor rates, $50 an hour. I haven't heard back, but if I do, I'll update in the comments. I may not work anywhere right now, but God am I glad I don't work in that hellhole anymore. The next one is titled, I'm not paying for your games just because I made you lose time. This was before Q quarantine started. I was on a Gamestop looking for some games, and I see Sekiro, and as Soulsborne fan I decided to pick it up. I had like $200 from money I received on my birthday. After me searching for like 5 minutes, a woman behind me does this sound that everyone who hears it knows what is about to happen. KJM, mister. I was asking if you could stop looking at the games and help me with something here. I immediately respond with I don't work here lady, sorry you could ask someone else for help. Then she says, if you don't work here why did you spend so much time inside the store, you have been here for like 40 minutes, so stop being a lazy *CK and help me with this. I want to add that she was talking to me like she were my owner or something like that, so I tell her, first I don't work here, and if your little fish brain can't understand that you should go back to elementary school, and second I'm not even wearing a acceptable uniform for the work, I'm on a t-shirt with the Takanka from Rainbow Six Siege helmet on it, so stop telling me what I should or not do. So she respond with then you need to pay for this because you make me waste my time with you. Then not even a second after she says that I respond okay, then you should pay for my game too because you made me waste my time too and I would accept on paying for your game. She accept we go up to pay for the things and because I was buying a new game, yes this was from when Sekiro has been just released, it was more expensive than her game. So you still want to do this or you would pay for your game and leave me alone? She pays for her game and leaves and I with a ear-to-ear smile pay and leave. I had a perfect night of suffering and frustration with my loved Sekiro.